So it's pretty serious.
Let's see who they can afford the next couple of years with all that money.
You know what I'm saying? You should have been.
Right.
You should have been an agent, Nasser. You should have been an agent.
Right.
Nasser would have made a good agent.
We'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll see.
60. Yeah, I know. 3 years, $186 million. So I looked at it again, right? I said, yeah, that shit is. It's right. I thought it was a typo. I mean, because I'm old. I got glasses.
I mean, Jordan's right. They're gonna be probably the most dominant superstar duo. If you just try to take just two guys from anywhere in the league, those two guys are gonna be the most dominant. But the question is, how are the rest of the guys gonna fit around them? Is Chris Middleton gonna hold up? His health wise, how he comes back. He just had surgery. So new coach, no infrastructure. Speaking of the Bucks, didn't Terry Stotts? He just oddly stepped down. I don't know if you guys saw that. If you guys put the together, Terry Stotts coached Portland with James Harden. Dame comes over. I don't want to make it like anti-Dame, but Dame comes over, and then last week I'm pretty sure Terry Stotts just resigned. Like this is who's the head coach. I just think it's a little interesting kind of what's going on. I found that particular piece funny though.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny because you thought, are they going to rule the East? Are they going to rule the East? And Nasser, you were talking about they're going to be dominant, that 1-2 punch there?
The 1-2 punch is going to be dominant. I have some questions about their perimeter defense. I think the Drew Holiday void was it's huge. I mean, Giannis is arguably the best defensive player in the league. Brook Lopez was a very high-level impactful defensive player last year, especially at the rim, playing passing lanes, just being that interior, brick inside. Who's going to guard Trae Young on that team? Yeah. Who's going to guard Devin Booker when he comes to town? Who's going to go guard Steph Curry around screens? It's not going to be Giannis. I know that. So
the answer is nobody, actually.
Yeah. So
That's the problem.
That's a good point right there. And it goes to show. Yo, Nasser, man, it's like Ben Simmons is forever gonna be haunted by that one moment in time where things fell apart, fam.
I hate to break it to you guys, I really do.
No, we want you to break it to us. That's why you're here. That's why you're here.
I'm actually I feel like I've been a Ben Simmons truther past 2-3 years. Whatever went down in Philadelphia, I'll first off say this: whatever went down in Philadelphia and the lack of aggression, and then the unprofessionalism and the not going to practice, I was not with any of that. But when the Brooklyn Nets got Ben Simmons, I didn't want to use that picture of Ben Simmons and let it dictate my actual opinion of what type of player he is. Then you take that into account. His back was hurt. He had back surgery. He literally had back surgery. People think that if you spend a year away from basketball, if you spend a year from anything, it doesn't matter what profession, what craft, if you spend a year away from it, it's going to take you a while to be where you were the year before. So Ben Simmons not playing basketball and the back surgery, I didn't think people should be that naive and expect him to be this all-star player that we once saw him in Philadelphia. That was not going to be the case. But I don't know if you're watching, but this summer, his body is back to 100%. He's been outspoken. He said that he's right physically, mentally in a very long time. He's shown some flashes in preseason. He's been playing fairly well. I actually think this Brooklyn Nets team is going to be one of the formidable defenses in this league. And I think Ben Simmons is going to be one of the reasons why. I think him, Mikal Bridges, I think they're going to be one of the best defensive wings this league has seen in a while. Mikal Bridges was doing a lot of the dirty work for alongside Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. He was the guy that was kind of most of that deep. You have Nick Claxton, who was an All-NBA defender for most of last year, if not all year, but lost a lot of that, fan vote. I don't know if it was because of the post-Kyrie KD situation that no one wanted to even say anything positive about a Brooklyn Net, but you have him. He's now staying defensive player. I just like the pieces around Ben Simmons. Returning back to point guard.
Yeah.
I just it looks like he's ready to be a professional. Like,
Not so. What's your take on that bullsh? I mean that in-season tournament.
in-season tournament. I think personally, I think it's a money grab. I think they're sick of the load management. They're sick of the guys, sitting out. They're trying to make the game in a way more fun, but more, incentivize it a little bit more. I think they took a page out of, the soccer book. Obviously, we know the Champions League and UEFA and the Super Cup, FA Cup. Soccer, especially Europe, they have so many, tournaments where we got
Yes.
club teams facing each other. So I think, and it's good because basketball over the past 5 to 10 years, we're kind of seeing it grow on a global standard, global landscape. So I think in order for basketball to really embrace that we're a global sport, they want to take some tactics away from sports that are actually globally embraced like soccer. So I think it's gonna be good. I'm not gonna listen. I love the NCAA tournament, March Madness. If this is the sense of March Madness, I'm gonna get from guys who are more talented playing at a higher level that are getting paid. Why not? If it's gonna make the
Of course,
guys,
they do this in the college game too. I mean, they have the preseason NIT and whatnot and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
the pros I think is a little bit different though.
yeah, Big Ten ACC challenge, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nasha, what's on your mind?
I guess I'll speak.
James Harden. What's up with your boy James Harden?
Oh boy.
Damn.
James Harden. I'm disappointed. James Harden.
Aren't we all?
I've been James Harden is another one of those NBA legends that I feel like I've been a truthist for. That I feel like I tell the truth on. But at this point, it's like there's just a level of professionalism as an athlete that you just need to hold. And I know we're not in the Philly locker room. I'm not saying that Daryl Morey didn't lie to him. I'm not saying James Harden has no reason to be mad, but there is a degree of pride that you have to have. There is a certain respect that you owe your teammates, the organization, people outside of just Daryl Morey. But this thing with being a GM is, I think, James Harden wraps his head around is that when he becomes disgruntled or pissed off at these GMs, he tends to throw the organization under the GM umbrella. But it's like, listen, not everyone in the organization may feel this way. This is just Daryl Morey. If he did you wrong, and that's only if he did you wrong. We don't even know if he did or not. So seeing that this has become a pattern, every stop he goes, it's tough. You try to separate James Harden, the great player, the player that I saw look like an MVP candidate when he was on the Nets before he left, the James Harden that, pushed the KD, Steph Curry dubs to the brink numerous times. That's the James Harden we love. That's the James Harden we could talk endlessly about. But there's also the James Harden that, talk about the getting out of shape, the money, staying out, the Houston, the clubs. There's that side James Harden that, that'll just always have a question mark on. So, I don't know. You got to take what you can get.
Say he's healthy. We'll have to see what happens. That's all I'm saying.
Mr. Zion Williamson. Yeah, I'm with Jay. They're an interesting team. They should be so much better than what they are. Like, I like Willie Green. I like Brandon Ingram. He played very well in the 2021 playoffs. It's kind of like an afterthought at Team USA, but I didn't want to look into it because Team USA, all these guys are talents. They're all the number ones on their team. Now you're grouping them together. Ingram has to now play kind of he has to play a play style he's not even accustomed. Like this 3-and-D stretch guy that plays D. He's a guy that has the ball in his hands a lot. He's a really above level playmaker. I honestly think the team should run through Ingram more than it should run through Zion. I felt this way the past 2 years. Just because Zion is such a force, he's going to get his numbers regardless where you put him. I think Ingram is a guy that just needs a lot of flow, a lot of rhythm. I think their offense is a lot more easier with the ball in his hands. Plus, he's so tall, he can just see over the floor and facilitate and just others. I think they just need to play. And McCollum. McCollum also has been an injury woe guy past couple years. As long as that team is just healthy, they got that Alvarado kid. They took that shooter from UConn. If they just have their pieces, Herb Jones, I think they're going to be fine. But like Jordan said, we just got to see it. Like it's just a if they're healthy. Victor Wembanyama, I'm a big fan. I don't know if you guys have been seeing the preseason highlights. His most recent game against the Warriors, it was remarkable. The things he was doing, the moves in the half court, it was amazing. I was.
Yeah, but that was preseason though. Now it's when the real season starts.
I mean, listen, man. Listen, this is a guy who's playing professional basketball. This isn't a guy that's just coming. I mean, he's coming into the NBA, but this is a real. I'm telling you, he's gonna be a real impactful player from day one. Like the worst version of Victor Wembanyama is still gonna be a high value guy. Like I like he's under the Coach Popovich, coaching tree. He's the perfect coach that you'd want. A young rookie guy, international guy, especially with his history with Tony and Manu, another international guy that he can take under his wing, show him everything. He's gonna give him so much game to soak in. I think Wembanyama is gonna be a star. And honestly, I was a big Wembanyama guy going into the preseason, going into the draft. I was kind of dubious on it. I wasn't sure if he was gonna be able to adapt, creating the half court. I didn't know if his quick twitchy moves. I didn't know if he had it, but I think I've seen enough to. I'm a believer. I expect big things. I'm expecting a Rookie of the Year. If he doesn't get Rookie of the Year, then he's a failure.
He is projected to win that. Yes.
I ask myself is how many games is he gonna miss? Which means when he misses Nasser, LeBron's got to carry an even a heavier load. Do they have a good supporting cast? Do they make enough off-season moves to support this team for an NBA title run?
Personally, I was actually a big fan of the moves that Rob Pelinka made. Someone that has been scapegoated a lot the past couple of years, especially since the Russell Westbrook move. Obviously, we can all look back and talk about that move and how silly it was and the fit and whatnot. But the fact of the matter is that Rob Pelinka did a good job this offseason surrounding LeBron and AD with younger, bigger, fresher wings. Torian Prince, like we mentioned, a quality rotational guy. Jackson Hayes, we've seen that Anthony Davis has a lot more experience next to a big, i.e., Dwight Howard in the bubble. So, a guy like Jackson Hayes, who's kind of, teetered here and there, fluctuated up and down, especially in NOLA. I feel like him being a big young athlete next to AD, I think he's going to just get better. And Gabe Vincent, I like the intangibles he brought from Miami. Another ball handler, guy that can space the floor. I think not just particularly it's not really about like the surrounding core. I think specifically amongst the core, it's going to be up to Caruso, D'Angelo Russell, and Gabe Vincent as to how far the Los Angeles Lakers go. AD and LeBron have been AD and LeBron as far as numbers the past 3 years. We keep talking about, yes, they need to play, but the fact of the matter is that they're both just getting older and they're both getting more fragile. With that 2020 team, those guys were two completely different players physically in 2020. We got to stop comparing it to that. If Gabe Vincent, Alex Caruso, and D'Angelo Russell can be formidable guys that can at least help LeBron in running the offense in the non-LeBron minutes, helping Anthony Davis get easier buckets so he doesn't feel like he has to actually carry like heavy offensive burdens for long periods of time. Those guys can space the floor and just be consistent. If those three can just be consistent, the Lakers will make a deep playoff run. They didn't beat the Golden State Warriors for nothing. They were just a bigger, more physical defensive team, and they're great at the rim. They're a great defensive team at the rim. When they want to play big, they're a really hard team to beat. And I think that was the big thing that Rob Pelinka saw last year, and that was the reason why he made this team bigger, fresher, longer. And I can't wait to see. Shout out to Rui Hachimura too. This is his first training camp with the Lakers. It's rumored he spent the whole offseason with LeBron. I can't wait to see what he brings. So I have some expectations for the Lakers, yeah.
You know what, Jay? Nasser's like he finds everything right to say, everything good to say. He's really positive and doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's gonna turn around to the camera and say, "And that motherfucker lost his mind." It doesn't seem that way.
Just
No.
don't rule it out.
I'm sure you do it in your private life, but what I'm getting at is that's the kind of breakdown we're talking about. I don't know what you think, Nasser.
To repeat, I think Denver would definitely be one of the best teams in the West. I expect them to make at least the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of Bruce Brown going into Indiana. Christian Braun, I think he was like the 7th or 8th man last year on that finals team. He's a promising young player. I mean, obviously, he won a ring as a rookie. He's a promising young player. I think he can take that next step and fill that role that Bruce Brown played as that good guy, guy that can kind of play. He was kind of like a big four. He was kind of a forward in a guard's body, playing in forward spots. That guy's running around, just doing a lot of grit stuff, playing high-level defense, rebounding, and just kind of helping the team. I think he can play that role, but Bruce Brown is one of the best at that role in the NBA. What he did for the Nuggets last year was big time. It was a reason why Indiana gave him all that money. My only worry is just who is going to play that role. I mean, I know Jamal Murray, and who knows, I could be wrong. Maybe, the presence of Jamal Murray, it might not even matter because his legs are fresh, worked out, so he's all toned up. He's ready to go. So
Yes.
It might matter, but I want to see how they fare in terms of the defensive department. But what does it matter if you have the best player in the league in Nikola Jokic? It might not even matter.
A lot more than pretty damn good. So I'm going to go back to you, Nasser, on your thoughts on the Golden State Warriors.
I think Golden State. I think their offseason went fairly under the radar. I know a lot of people gave them slack over the Chris Paul move. I was one of them. It's not like I wasn't a fan of Chris Paul. I just wasn't a fan of how they used Jordan Poole as an asset. I feel like they could have gone more than just Chris Paul, just because. And I'm not an anti-Chris Paul guy, but I just feel like at this stage of his career, he is what he is. He is going to be a floor raiser. He's exactly what the Warriors needed for the second unit. They're going to be a really, really good offensive team. This is the first time Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are going to have a legit, commendable, high-level, all-star level floor general point guard running the offense, and both of them simultaneously will be able to space the floor. That has never been seen before. Yes, it's been seen with Jordan Poole, Andre Iguodala, but those guys don't have the playmaking capabilities like Chris Paul. This is Chris Paul talking about one of the best point guards ever. That's the biggest pro from getting Chris Paul. The con is the availability. He has doomed the Phoenix Suns' chances of, basically going back to the finals the past 2 years. I think he is what he is. I don't know if he's going to be able to beat Father Time. He's a great plus regular season, but ultimately, I don't know what they're going to do down the stretch of the playoffs. I just think they're a little older. But I expect a big year out of Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, who's basically going to fill the same role that Andre Iguodala has made famous for. He's basically just another carbon version of him. The Warriors are going to be very good. I expect them to be a top 5, top 4 team in the West. My big question is, can they make it past? They can make the conference finals, but can they reach the finals? Who's going to do it for them? I think it has to be someone more than just Curry.
Yeah.
Nasser, is Bradley Beal the answer?
Bradley Beal is half, I'll say a quarter to half the answer. He puts them as a scorer, his experience as a scorer and his ability to score at a very high level at all 3 levels. People forget this is a guy that's averaged 30 twice as a number 1.
Yeah.
So Bradley Beal, he's going to get a lot more efficient and open looks just because of the gravity from Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. And what makes the 3 of them fit so seamlessly is that all 3 of them have had experience as a primary ball shot creator or an off ball. Both Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant spent some time with Russell Westbrook. They know how it is to play off the ball with a dominant guy. Devin Booker was progressed and evolved as an on-ball shot creator before CP3 arrived. When CP3 arrived, they had their run together, and he was playing off the ball. So all three of them having that experience in numerous roles on and off the ball, and at this particular in the vital points of their careers, being able to sacrifice, I think it's going to go ways. They're going to be one of the more prolific offenses in the league, just because not only are all three of them deadly one-on-one, all three of them are amazing in the catch and shoot. All three of them are great in the mid-range. They all hit their free throws. It's not going to be that hard of an offense to generate if you're a Phoenix Sun. And on top of that, they're pretty underrated in terms of playmaking. I know Booker and Beal, they're both two guards. Kevin Durant is one of the best small forwards to ever play. But they are very unselfish, selfless players. They know how to read the floor. They've been guys that have been getting doubled, most of their careers. They've done the All-Star games, they've done the All-NBAs. I think offensively, they have it. The big question is who is going to step up in the front court to provide that interior presence, who is going to stop the prolific scorers on the perimeter. I think we need to see one of the big three, if not, two or three of them to step up on the defensive side. I think their competitive nature, we saw it from Booker and Durant. People aren't going to give them credit. They played very high-level defense last year. People aren't going to want to give them credit, but this was a team that took 2 away from Jokic. They did win games 3 and 4. Jokic was tied against Devin Booker and Kevin Durant at one point. So, I do like what Matt Ishba and James Jones, sorry, I was going a little brain freeze. James Jones, what they did in free agency, getting the necessary role players, choosing Metu, Nurkic, doesn't really stay healthy, but a bigger screen guy who's more embracing of his role than clearly DeAndre Ayton was. I have high expectations for the Suns. The biggest question is going to be availability, and all three of those guys, as we see Bradley Beal, back alignment, it's day one, not going to play tonight. Sad to say, but yeah, availability, and if they can get the enough stops on defense under Frank Vogel, they're going to be one of the toughest teams to beat in all of the league. For sure.
I think it's going to be in trouble this year. I don't see them coming too good this year.
I don't hate. They have a lot of looming questions. I got to play defense and can they start to stay healthy?
Yeah.
Booker, Beal, and Durant, they're like three of like the small group of stars that have had trouble playing like 65 games or over.
Right.
Durant hasn't played over 60 games since like 2019. Beal hasn't played over 60 in about 2 years. Booker just missed like 20 plus games last year with a quad injury. And who's to say if Booker didn't get hurt, would they still trade Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson? Would Monty Williams get fired? Does KD end up in Phoenix now? There's a lot of looming questions. I feel like that stretch last year where Booker was really hurt and Phoenix struggled with CP3 and Mikal and all them, that it was a very underlying story, and it kind of shifted the landscape of the NBA right now.
Nasser, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Hey, Amen Thompson of the Houston Rockets, Asar Thompson of the Detroit Pistons. Look out for them. They are both going to be all rookie first team guys this year. Those boys are from the overtime elite landscape. Everyone remember the name Amen Thompson, Asar Thompson, twins, rookie years. I got a piece coming out very soon on the Detroit Pistons. I just wrote one on the Houston Rockets about a month ago. They're both, each of them are, respectively in there covering. Just very excited about those two. Big guards, a lot of Penny Hardaway in them, long, lanky guards, athletic. They defend, aggressive, tenacious. The Pistons and the Rockets, they're going to be in good places in a couple of years. And so everyone look out for those two names.
And before any of you out there ask, what the hell does Nasser Karaga know about Penny Hardaway? Trust me, he knows about Penny Hardaway.
Exactly.
That's all you need to know is that he knows about Penny Hardaway.